Cameron, how's it going, buddy?
Hey, few things. I have my University of San Francisco sweatshirt on today,
Nice.
which is the place where I learned to be a systems thinker.
Okay.
And and I have the matching Peaky Blinders hat on. One, I don't know if it's for Boston, if it's for doing damage. It's something. It's got a vibe to it.
It makes me think of what's that guy Richie the Gentleman, where they're in like the UK and
Yep.
yeah, that's what makes me think of the Gentleman. It's like something happening. Coach,
Yep.
you're like Coach right now.
Yep. Yeah. I don't often wear the Peaky Blinders hat, and oftentimes I wear it backwards, all Samuel L. Jackson style. But
Yeah.
this one's got the
Oh, sweet.
yeah, it's full mass hole.
Okay. It's like there's definitely some like Scotch or Irish clan going on with that pattern there.
For sure. But it's partially also, to pay a little bit of homage to you and
Channeling your inner Masshole,
your Massachusetts
asshole.
your Massachusetts roots.
People who don't know, they call people from Massachusetts massholes because they drive like crazy assholes, and they're like literally right on the end of your car at all times. And I don't know, it's an acquired taste.
I mean, when I lived there for a year, never had I been so frightened of driving in my entire life. And I think the capstone of it was the day that I looked over at the dude in the giant Buick next to me, and he had like, I kid you not, he had the globe, like the two sheets of the globe fully open, resting
Oh
on
my
the
God.
steering wheel, and he was driving with his legs and reading on
Dude,
the
free cell
freeway.
phone. Road rage is a whole nother thing because there's like a lot of like Irish roots in Boston, and Irish temper is it gets a little spicy sometimes. So
Yeah.
what are you
All
gonna
I can think about is like, what's your name?
do?
Tony.
Oh my God.
What's your name? Ezekiel.
Yeah.
Anyway.
You can't yell at people. That like, people will go crazy. Like people get shot. I'm kind of now. I feel like it's just kind of like par for the course in New York, but it was. Yeah, it was an issue even in the South Shore and the North Shore of Boston. So it wasn't just the city too.
Yeah, you're right. It
But
gets spicy there. Anyway.
yeah. So it is November 9th. Today, Mercury is officially retrograde, and this is a huge trope amongst astrologers, but basically Mercury rules communication, technology, how you read, write, speak, data. And when it goes retrograde, it's a time of like reevaluating, redoing, but basically it's based on our perspective of it seems like it's going backwards because of the kind of like it's like an optical illusion basically from the placements of like the planets and relative to the Earth and the Sun. But the tech does get whacked, and like today, case in point, like I got on the train to go to the gym. It skipped the train stop. I'm supposed to go. I tried logging into this thing. It's like, your mic is blocked. Your video is blocked. I mean, we've been having tech issues for a while because of just gremlins or whatever. But this is like, I'm like, okay, roll the dice, see what happens. So we'll see. But real quick, this is the last retrograde, maybe two, where Uranus is back in Taurus. So what started in 2018 in terms of what you love, what you value systems, that's when crypto took off like crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Once it goes back into Gemini in April, like that's when I think we start seeing a shift with the economy, what's really going on with the dollar. I mean, the debt's getting exponentially bigger. They have to cut entitlements and things. So again, not like a precise prediction, but these are the kind of tides and the weather patterns that I'm seeing moving forward. I think you could, that's what I think's going on. So how's your tech going, Cam?
I mean, I'm feeling it in a similar way. So which is hilarious, like East Coast, West Coast, right? You're on the train skips the station. I'm trying to service my car. It's not a big deal.
Mercury's
right?
transit too, so Mercury rules cars and trains too. So there you go.
Great. So I own one of the most common cars you can own, right? The 2017 Audi Q5 with a 3-liter engine. I mean, they've made this engine since the 90s, right? Like, this is not uncommon tech. And I roll up to the standard Jiffy Lube, which, my expectation is they're probably servicing some Audis, right? Like, it's not like I'm showing up there and I'm like, hey, I have this super arcane Fiat from the 70s. You guys got an oil filter and like this really highly special oil with, So anyway,
I could
I
see an
roll
Audi
up.
guy trying to save money and go to Jiffy Lube rather than going to the dealership. So that totally tracks.
I mean, dude, I give zero shits about this car. Like, it's got over 100,000 miles on it. It smells
Oh
like
my God.
dog. It's got it probably still has some, you know, old decaying goldfish from when my son was a kid and didn't care and threw them around. I mean, we've owned this
Oh my
car like
God.
since he was like 5, right? Like it's not, this is not a cherished, prized car we're talking about. So anyway, I roll up. I can hear the disassembly happening beneath me, and it's like, go, in the waiting room. We'll come get you. We'll tell you, what we think you need. It's, yep, great, got it. So I go in there, hanging out with all the Toyota owners, and 5 minutes goes by, and dude comes in. He's like, oh, hey, can I show you something? I'm like, sure. My car's no longer in the thing. It's like idling out in front.
I thought you were going to say it was like in pieces, like disassembled in the whole shop.
No, it was like, what are you showing me? He's like, oh, I'm showing you to your car. Oh, great. What's happening? He's
It's like a red carpet or something.
No, nothing. Just, parked. Like, beat it, essay.
Okay.
It's like, we don't have the filter, we don't have the oil, we got nothing for this thing. I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, you guys are kidding me, right?
They didn't have anything? They didn't have any parts or oil
Nothing.
or anything?
Nothing. No oil. He's like, we don't have the right kind of oil. I'm like, right kind of oil? Like synthetic
like
anything.
10W40.
Don't care. Yeah, give me the 520, the 030, whatever you got. Don't care. Like, no. Like, okay. And the filter? It's like, nope, we don't have that. Haven't had that in years. What? Okay. So, I was like, at this point, I'm kind of testing the guy. Is it a can filter or is it a paper filter? And, I know it's a paper filter. I'm like, oh, it's a can. And yeah, we don't have that. Like the cans are getting really hard to, keep in stock. Like most companies have gone to the paper because there's less weight. Okay. And at this point, I'm like, I just need to go.
Yeah, dude. So, when these kind of fuck ups happen, it's the rejection is like a protection kind of thing because they're gonna put like dog food basically in your car and totally mess it up, and then you're gonna be like, oh, now it's a $2,000 problem later, like a month down the road when you're like driving to like the coast or something.
So again, from one part of, since we're trying to bring this back to two things, retrograde, like that was an epic fail, and it was an epic fail because like these guys are in front of computers, like they're like you can hear the click 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 happening, immediately when you show up, right? Like they're putting in the VIN or the license plate or whatever. They've got some way of like figuring out the exact model that you have and everything, right?
Makes sense like a healthcare.
And you would think like in their system, like because they're not on their own. They're either a franchise or they're, corporate owned stores. And I think in the area, not to go too far down this, but like in my area, I think they're franchised, but they still, I was like, hey, where's the nearest one that can do this? It's like, oh, the nearest one's on this street. Like, okay, got it. Which is way too far for me to drive. Cause like, I'm trying to get this done, hit a hardware store and come back and meet up with you. It's like, is there any way that you can look and see if they have the filter in stock? And he's like, oh, no, we can't do that. It's like, you can't do that right now, or like that feature does not exist in your software. He's like, yeah, no, like I can't see what other stores have. I'm like, okay, fascinating. So I pushed the eject button on all this for the exact reason that you just said. It was like, this is clearly not simple. This is clearly not something these guys have the either give a shit to want to do or the systems to figure it out. Like, I'm just going to go to the auto parts store, buy my own filter, get the oil, and be done with it. Like, that experience on the other side, dude's like, right, like, I never get this kind of service in an auto parts store. Dude's like right next to me, standing as I'm looking at filters. He's like, hey, you trying to find a filter? Yeah, I am. What do you got? It's like very common Q5, like 2017. He's, oh, the 3-liter motor? Yeah, the V6. Yeah. Yeah. And he's like,
yeah, it rattles a little bit, right? Yeah, I used to have one.
yeah, the valve train sounds like shit, right? Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
So he's like, and I'm there with the paper catalog, Keith, right? Like I'm hearing you in the back of my head, like, hey, shit's going down this week. I'll all technology, not going to
But a
necessarily be
backup.
stable.
Good man.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm going for the paper catalog, right? I'm I'm there, and got my finger. I'm like, oil filter. Yep, got it. Now I've got the number. I'm looking on the wall, and he's like, I'm gonna go hit the computer. Like, can I grab a couple of the things that you got in the basket and just take them up there? Yeah, great, perfect.
Dude, awesome.
So I find the filter, head up there, and he's like, yeah, and he's got the same filter out on the counter. I was like, where did yours come from? He's like, the back. He's like, where did yours come from? I'm like, the front. He's like, amazing. Like, how often do you have two people, which he was being hilarious. He's like, two very smart people, two different ways of finding the thing. He's like, you went old school. I went new school. Like, here we are. I was like, it is
Perfect.
amazing.
That's
So I got to have a
crazy.
very human interaction, which honestly, in all of this, I really appreciated, because like oftentimes in any of these situations, it's totally like the thank you drive through. It's like, go in there and wait. And you're like, okay, I will go in there and wait. Like, half the time, I don't even know if they've actually changed the oil or if they're just topping it off. I don't even know if they've
Oh,
changed the
yeah.
filter. And they just
Yeah.
hand me the bill, here you go. And like, so
Markup too.
I appreciated the honesty. Like, we can't do anything for you. It was annoying in the moment, but it was a little bit like, all right, you guys have saved me from myself, maybe.
Yeah.
And then, on the other end in the auto parts store, the dude was so great. It was like very service oriented. Like, he was going to bridge my knowledge gaps. And then he acknowledged like the fact, oh, dude, you went old school. Like, I got a computer up front that solved the same problem. But look, it took me like 5 minutes to go in the back and try and find it. You with the paper catalog and the shelf, like, yep.
Yeah,
So
there's many ways.
fun.
It's like, yeah, dude, a couple things came to my mind as you're telling me the story. It's always have a backup, especially now. Like, you have the paper catalog, like, okay, cool, we can just double check to make sure the serial number's right, or like the stickers are off on the little like shelf or whatever. And then I think initially you were like, screw it, I'm just gonna pay to get the service done. They can do it in 10 minutes. It's just like they put it up, pop the thing. It's like, easy, right?
Yep.
But
I was paying for the convenience.
Yep, there you go. And it wasn't actually worth it. So it's like DIY. No one knows how to DIY anything anymore.
No,
so
for
the
sure.
fact that you had to do it gave you the backup to kind of like make it happen, and it worked out even better. So yeah.
Can I share an interim step with you? Because again, part of it was like, I'm pretty sure I'm right about the paper versus the can, right? Like,
Okay.
I'm pretty sure. And I was driving. So, at the next point of stopping off, which was a little side road before hitting the auto parts store, like, I better make sure I know what I'm talking about before I go in here. So, like we talked about last week, got the phone, knowledge in my hand, like, boop, 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 boop. Give me the Q5.
Yeah.
Give me the Q5 30T, oil filter. Give me a picture. And so, of course, like, Google AI is like, here are all your options. Here's your shopping option. So like, what comes up? The first thing that comes up, eBay. Like, go buy your filter on eBay. I was like, might be a totally reasonable option if I could get like 5 of them. I probably
Did you look at the cost relative from auto parts or whatever relative to eBay? How much it costs?
I think it ends up being about the same, right? Like, you're going to pay tax in either situation. The filters themselves were a little bit less money. And if you bought them in a bulk of 5, either on eBay and ultimately like down the page was Amazon, both
Sure.
roughly the same price between the two, but the price was less than brick and mortar retail, but you're paying shipping in either instance. So like, I think you combine those things and you're probably right back to the same price point.
So then it's like, how fast
it's all a
do you
commodity.
Need it?
It's all a commodity at this point, right? So,
but it would be cool if not Jiffy Lube. I mean, even they could probably do it too. But if it's a franchise and you own the thing and you have some leeway on where you can source your parts, or it's like there's a main channel you can go through, kind of like if you have like a Burger King, you use their meat, their product, or whatever. But because it's a car, if you can find the parts on eBay, but also I think it's probably other dealers, or it's a guy who's just has a huge warehouse without it's like the ghost kitchen, but it's like ghost auto parts store effectively. You know what I mean? It's like a faceless store. You can get better deal
that
way.
exists. That exists. Yeah. I mean, that's how like small independent shops and even some body shops and even some dealers get their parts intraday, right? Like these
Yeah,
guys have solved, um,
it's a backup.
I guess last mile, really, right? Like I live in a large metro area, as you know, you do too.
Yep.
There's probably one of these in each of our areas where it's 45 minutes away from most things, and they can get
Yeah.
something on a truck out to the South Bay where I live, like intraday. So like I've taken my Q5 to an independent repair shop, and the dude's like, "Oh yeah, dude, don't even." I'm like, "Do you want me to go grab like X, Y, and Z?" Because I know sometimes those things are hard to find. He's like, "Nah, dude, don't even worry about it. Like I can get that here within the day." He's like, "I'm sitting in front of the computer right now. I'm on their site. Like no issues." Like, all right, cool.
The irony of Macy's couldn't see into stock in other stores. It was still always, I mean, when you get down to a certain amount, it's hard because it's like if there's two left, it could be in a fitting room. It's like there's kind of like an in between state, but not being able to kind of have like you're gonna have it or they're not. It's like I don't know, something like an oil change. Like that's so common to get done. It's kind of like a millennial going to buy a drill at IKEA, or they're just like, fuck it, I'm gonna pay TaskRabbit because like they don't have a drill. It's like every guy should have a drill, by the way, like a real drill, like a Makita or
Mhm.
something, not like a fucking IKEA drill. But
Yeah, don't get the IKEA drill and don't get the Black and Decker.
no, it won't last. But B&H actually did this too because they had some things that they couldn't fulfill until the late afternoon, and some things they could fulfill in like 20 minutes. And it's the same deal where they had like a huge warehouse, up in the Navy Yard over here, and yeah, they just get it, and then it takes a little bit longer, but you still basically get it same day.
Yeah,
So
yeah, it's very cool.
yeah, eBay's an interesting case.
Yep, it is.
I mean, it's kind of, if you think about like e-commerce now, it's kind of like hasn't really changed, and it's like I don't know. They seem like one of the big companies that are ripe for disruption
I mean,
nowadays.
it's my go-to for a lot of things, right? Like if you're listening to our podcast without the video, you can't see any of this, but Keith can see it. Like everything on the wall behind me, in fact, everything on every wall in my office has come from eBay. Uh, I'm no stranger to the car parts thing either on eBay. I'm actually no stranger to buying cars or other things, mechanical. I'm no stranger to eBay, but you're right. Like, dude, talk about something that has not changed when they've
Yeah,
tried to change instead of like doing something that's unique to them or something that could make them peerless in their particular marketplace of marketplaces. They tried to copy Amazon to disastrous results. Like, why would you do that? It's like you're going after the people that have the financial capital and the wherewithal to like outweight you on a number of things. Like they've got a million people working on IP. Like, why would you do that? Like,
I
it's
mean,
not a strategy.
no, I mean, but they don't really think about the viability of the business. I mean, the thing about Amazon too is you guys were vertically integrating the supply chain because it became a choke point, and they were just like, screw it, we'll just buy our own planes and do our own logistics. And if you want to make a marketplace just because you can, like Macy's tried to do, and they started doing it, it's like the problems compound when the data is messed up and you can't find things. It's like all the issues you have with infrastructure get exponentially worse by orders of magnitude when you don't have the right foundations in place, because it's just you can't support it. It's like if you're going to something that's completely seamless at that sense, it's not, there's no physical store presence. It's everything you have to have the vertical integration out back through modular components to make it like predictable, and they just didn't have it.
Well, let's
But
maybe slow this down because I think you're on to something, right? Like we're talking about a now legacy, but like Amazon,
a
and
.com darling 20 years ago.
a .com darling 20 years ago, truly innovative model, something that really took Web 0.5 and moved it to Web 1.0, survived Web 1.0, and actually kind of started to be like Web 2.0, right?
Yep.
And I think there's some fundamentals there that all of these companies and while I'd like to focus on the square box that is eBay, and maybe that is our anchor for part of what we're talking about. Like it's no different than Macy's, and it's no different for Amazon, right? There are these fundamental core pieces, and like you and I were talking a little bit about this over the week about what some of those things are, right? Like you've got an audience, you've got
Yep.
user data, you've got, in the case of eBay, very much so user generated content, right? Like not just the ads, there's community content that they have. There is uh now video streamed content in the form of something that is eBay Live, which I have never paid attention to. I've seen it
I
in
didn't even know
their
they had anything like
filters.
that. Like QVC for eBay kind of deal.
It kind of looks like the way you would imagine. I mean, it looks like everybody's, I don't want to say sci-fi, but everybody's Hollywood version of a live event where there's an audience listening to somebody like you and I, and down in the corner there's
We have
like,
100 of these steak knives. You want these steak knives? They're
and there's like
amazing. You can cut
hearts
through
floating
tires.
up and like, like happy
Yeah.
faces, and like there's streamed comments like, Keith and Cam, they're so freaking smart, I'd buy that Peaky Blinders hat off Cam's sweaty head. And I'm like, who's this for, right? But I mean, we can come back to that. I guess it's like,
Yeah.
but looking at these things, right? Like you got a network of things that are going on. You've got a product catalog. You've got, a community that is bringing product in, right? Which is honestly something that Amazon probably tried to copy from eBay and other marketplaces, right? It's like, we don't necessarily need to own the product curation, the product merchandising, and in some ways where we can
There's a
efficiently
3PL.
where we can do all of the delivery and the last mile or the middle mile, like, because we're a big giant system and we need to put things on planes and on trucks, like, and in warehouses, we will offer that as a service to sellers. But owned inventory, like, we don't necessarily need to own inventory. And I think, that's probably in the early days with eBay, one of the things that kept them afloat from the .com bust, right? Like they didn't have inventory sitting in warehouses that they owned. And they
No.
actually, in those, at that time, I think the best that they were doing was they would ship you a stack of eBay branded boxes and eBay branded tape, and they would allow you to, put things in a eBay branded box and send it off. And I think for a little while they were actually doing something which we tried to do, I think, at Macy's as well, which is, when we were trying to do the marketplace, like, could we take care of figuring out what the cost of shipping is? Could we work with somebody like FedEx or UPS to cut these sellers of ours a deal? I believe eBay did that. I don't know if they're still doing that. But, early on, you can see where that was an advantage, right? Like, they're
Totally.
not taking on all of this overhead that all these other companies like Macy's were taking on, because everything that we had to sell, we had curated, merchandised, and ultimately put into a warehouse. We'd cataloged it. We had, oriented it for sale, promotion, etc., all of those things. Where eBay, something sits around and it doesn't sell,
It doesn't matter. It's not on your balance
doesn't
sheet.
matter. Yeah, I mean, there's
The-
only the cost of the bits, to your points earlier in our podcast, that eBay's responsible for. They got to store the images, they got to store the description,
That's nothing.
and they have to wait, for the sale to happen for them to be like, Keith, I'm taking the $250 from you and the $250 from Cam for like the exchange of like the product between the two of you.
Well, that was the big UX innovation, was the auction interaction design and the building of reputation and trust on it, because that was like just after people started becoming comfortable putting their credit cards on the internet. It's like, well, if I can put my credit card on the internet and not get hacked, what else can I do? And that was like the next thing. And I think, eventually the buy it now became the innovation for eBay, because it was like, screw it, I didn't want to deal with an auction. I'm just like, for $100 for this thing, I'll just get it, whatever, sweatshirt, memorabilia, whatever. Now I think as a legacy, like the returns part could potentially be an issue, but I think they're like doing like protected returns or whatever. But, at some point it's like, it's another e-commerce store. So it's another, you find other small communities around like computer parts, or you're buying server parts. Like I'm looking at how can I, can I build a cheap Xeon box with cheap RAM or whatever to build a NAS right now? And I'm watching videos on YouTube, and it's like, can those guys all do like partnerships or work together to build a sub community? Because as soon as one guy on YouTube talks about, oh hey, buy this motherboard, the cost doubles like at the same day because the dudes on YouTube, on eBay figure it out, and then everyone's like, oh, pissed off who were like his followers on YouTube at that point. So
Right.
it's like you have all these different patterns kind of collapsing right now, and it's like what I haven't looked at the financials of eBay, so I don't know like what the revenue is or kind of like where they're putting all their kind of like capex or their opex or whatever right now. But I mean, it feels
So
like
there's
Craigslist when you still use it, not in a good way. You know what I mean? It's like
yeah.
you're
Yeah.
like this is feels like old. Like, can I trust you now? Because like, are you guys even like changing and getting with it? It's like going into like Filene's basement. It's like they're not even around anymore. They're reminiscent of like
Yeah.
your mom dragging you. You know?
Well, I mean, so a few things. eBay has made the determination that they should not compete with Amazon. They did that a few years ago. They reduced a lot of those programs. They think they sunset a bunch of the programs that they had that were in that space. It's not to say that you can't, as a seller, bring a massive catalog online to eBay. I think you can still do that. But in terms of trying to go one-to-one with Amazon and, do refills of soap and things like that. I mean, like all the things that they were trying to do in a marketplace, if they're doing it, they've de-emphasized it. And in some ways, it feels like what they've done is they've gone back, or they're trying to go back to their roots, right? It's a community, and they're trying to build things into it that feel like community. At least this is one man's observation who's on their platform almost daily.
Yeah.
And, I looked at their stock a few weeks ago, and I would say they've been rewarded for that, right? Over the last, call it 18 months, maybe 20, 24 months, the stock price has gone up. They're beating the S&P, right? Like I can't remember how much it's gone up, but it's, it's a healthy percentage. I mean, I could probably go look. But from a systems thinking model, it feels like a couple of things are going on, right? And if we think about the steps in systems thinking, right? You got events, you got patterns and trends, you have an underlying structure, which is oftentimes the core foundation of like what your business is. And beneath that, you have the mental model. Like, what does all of this mean? What are the beliefs? What are we like trying to do? What are we trying to do? And what are the people that work with us in our network trying to do, right? Like the network model matters in this, especially when you're talking about consumers. And, you got kind of against each one of those things, you have the action that's going on, right? So events, like what happened and how do we react, right? With this,
Like when
like,
things get
oh
sold,
God.
like transactions basically.
And
Yeah.
again, Amazon continues to eat our lunch despite the fact that we're like pouring money into this, right? It's a reaction. We're going to stop doing this. It's like, what are the patterns and trends that we're seeing? Well, the old school thing that we've always done and the community that we have has always worked, right? It's like they're anticipating certain things changing or shifting back towards that, right? There's a nostalgia there that I think they're probably trying to capitalize on. And the combination of the reaction, like Amazon's still eating our lunch and trying to anticipate what they think from their past they can do and capitalize on a trend, which is the nostalgia. It feels like they've moved themselves back into that space. Like we're about auctions and live events and things like that, but it's about, these basic pieces. It's a community that does user generated content, and it's a very big catalog that, they're the first mover, right? Like they were the first true marketplace, the first real like online auction space. I
It
guess
doesn't.
more. You go.
It just doesn't. It doesn't. It's like a bunch of disparate components bolted together without any cohesive, unified vision. Like if I just want to message somebody, like, dude, it's painful. Like, uh, chat apps
It's
and
slow.
chat. Well, that not even just the speed, but it's just it looks like it's a shitty wireframe from like 15 years ago. It's like it doesn't have to be designed super nice, but it's like everyone uses email. Why can't you just having to try and own that piece? It's just I think that they're holding on to certain parts of it, and then if you are going to own it, what are you really doing with it? Like they're not. Like if I look at all these computers and it's like, how do I know if this is a good buy or not? Right? If I'm looking at a dual Xeon, like, can these chips be upgraded? Is this worth it? Is this a good deal relative? Like, uh, you know, a newer version came out. Oh, guess what? You can buy the last one at 50% off, and it's still good because the new one's only like a 15% performance increase, and it's like pulling in the UGC outside of eBay that also support that from people who are good influencers or whatever, like on YouTube. I mean, there's no way they're not pulling all these things together. Like it still feels very old Web 2.0 mindset when it's like at some point this is just going to be like you're going to find it in AI and you're going to ask like comment or some AI browser to be like, dude, is this legit? Is this bullshit? Like, do I need a paper filter or do I need a metal filter? Okay, cool. Paper, cool. Because I had that one weird car. Oh, the catalytic converter blew up. No, I need a metal filter because it's too close to the thing and whatever. It
Yeah,
to
dude.
know all that, like getting all that there.
I mean, I think you're nailing it, right? And like where I was going with the whole systems thinking model, at least the top two parts, right? Like you're reacting and you're anticipating, and you're trying to deal with the events that are happening to you, and you're looking at patterns and trends, and you're trying to like anticipate. And like both of those stages in the systems thinking model are very much defensive position, right? They're like, I'm trying to hang on to this. I'm trying to defend this. I'm trying to
It's
like
old
capitalize on the,
mentality. Yeah,
it's old mentality. I'm trying to capitalize on the things that I used to do. I'm trying to grab nostalgia. I'm trying to hang on to my audience. Like none of
you're gonna
this
get buried.
is, you're going to get buried. Like none of this is new thinking, right? And like that eBay live thing, it could be really cool.
Yeah,
Not for me. Not for me. Like, right? Like as an old Gen X guy who grew up with eBay and was like in his late 20s or mid 20s when he first started using it, like that was cool for me. But I put that in front of my 13-year-old and he's going to be like, what kind of like absolute bunk is this? Like sadly, like he has collecting habits and hobbies similar to mine, right? Totally different genre of thing, totally different product category,
Pokemon
right? Like he's
cards.
I mean, yeah, back in the day, but like shoes, Keith, he's like, dude, he
Oh,
can
dude,
go,
yeah, the kids in sneakers are crazy. Yeah.
like he can go toe to toe with you in terms of like the sneaker trade. Like you had the like you were, I think you were the first person I'd ever met where it was like I actually cannot identify the pair of shoes that Keith's wearing, and I had to go and like Google it and be like, what is this? And of course, like you live in a major fashion center. I do not. So the
Gold
fashion
Supra is
trends,
wearing in the boardroom
the
too as a
Supras,
statement.
baby.
That was another story, but
So
yeah.
so so he's a sneakerhead, right? Like and I'm like, dude, I do not want to deal with any of your dodgy sneaker websites because like my credit card information, like he's like, "Your dad, I have a bunch of cash." Like
Oh yeah, yeah.
and we'll get into his entrepreneurialness at some other point, right? But like
Dude, I have to
suffice
know
it to
about that.
say, he had a hack going at school where he was supplying the kids with snacks. And the whole trade was cash only, right? Like as these things tend to be.
Arbitrage, amazing.
So so all right, so back to the sneakers, right? He'll show up with like the pile of like $5 bills or the pile of ones and he's like, I got $90, Dad.
You're like, you hanging out with strippers? Like, where'd you get all these fives from?
Yeah, dude, he's like, want to flip some ones? um so here we are on some dodgy sneaker site and he's like, they won't take my green light card. So like we got him a debit card for kids, right? That we can monitor. Like it's a physical card, but like there's an online component and like we have an access to the back end. And he's like, they won't take my green light card. I'm like, of course they won't take your green light card because there's way too many security features with this. Like green light's going to reject this. And he's like, yeah, it
Yeah.
keeps rejecting. I'm like,
Buying
because you're on a
sneaker stores,
dodgy
yeah.
sneaker site. So he convinced me once to do this for him on one of these dodgy sneaker sites. And we got the sneakers, and the sneakers ended up being all right. But like the entire time for like the month, and Keith, fulfillment took more than a month to get these
Yeah, tell me
shoes.
some of the teenagers on the back end doing this shit, like through eBay. Like, okay, I got to find it on eBay, and I got my spread.
Probably.
I mean,
so the shoes ended up coming from South Korea.
oh no way.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's cool.
Because it was like some crazy rare, dunk that he wanted. Like the fruity pebbles dunks.
Fruity Pebbles.
I'm like, dude, there's no way like we're ever gonna get these shoes. I'm out $140. Like, I'm also like now worried.
Yeah,
like,
shoes are expensive, dude. Like crazy.
And thank God I used a credit card that I know I can like, draw like metal box around, like the digital Faraday cage, so like these people can't scam me. All the stuff, right?
Fraud
and I'm
protection.
like, dude, why are we not just doing this on eBay? And I put him in front of eBay. He finds the shoes on eBay. Like, I was in a place where like after 3 weeks and not hearing from, this company that we ended up buying the shoes from, I'm like, these shoes are never coming, right? And it's school time and he needs shoes that he can actually wear to school, like, not put in a case with a remote control where the shoes get pushed out and the light turns on. Like, these are actually shoes he's going to wear. And I'm like, we're getting near to school time and I got to get these shoes. So like, I'm on eBay and I'm like, dude, they have the same shoes. And he's like, no. It's like, no. Like, what? Why? It's like, one, I'm not buying anything on eBay. It's like, eBay's junk. Like, I mean, dude, it's reliably delivered things from, arcane auto parts to an entire car to like a $20,000 watch. Like,
yeah.
I trust these guys. And he's like, I'm not shopping on eBay. And he's relentless. Just like, nope.
Really?
Because he won't do it.
Did he say why he wouldn't want to do it?
He thinks he's got a higher probability of getting junk or fakes or something from eBay than he does from rando sneaker site. I'm like, dude, they have so many guarantees and so much price protect, all the goodness, right? And he's like, I won't, like, do not spend my money there. I'm like, all right.
How were the prices? Were they comparable to like the Korean place?
I mean, comparable.
Ish?
Comparable.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think the Korean place was
spread.
a little less. But at the end of the day, I mean, the point here being not to go too far down into my son's psychology or whatever. Like, if they're trying to attract that audience, and I believe they need to, the eBay Live thing ain't it. Like, he's like, dude, no. This is like budget TikTok. It's like truly budget TikTok. And he's like, and the people that are talking to me on this,
that's what it is.
I sat him down for like 15 minutes. I'm like, just watch a bunch of videos. And he's like, okay. And he's like, no. Like, this doesn't change your mind at all. He's like, absolutely not. He's like, everybody on there was a total scammer. Like, okay.
Did you show him?
I'm like, show me one that's credible. And he like goes and finds some TikTok video. And I was like, all right. Like, I'm not seeing it, but, and he's like, it's TikTok, Dad. Like, come on. Like, one person says that these guys are scammers and it's going to spread like wildfire and like they'll never sell another shoe. And I was like,
okay. So
all right,
this is
now
interesting.
We're on to something. Now we're getting somewhere.
So the reputation UX mechanism has shifted, that the media being zero marginal cost and so fast to spread that it becomes like a group punishment.
Yes.
Almost instantaneously versus that's interesting.
And he's like, what am I going to do? Like, give these guys a thumbs down on, he's like, what am I, like, okay, I buy something from them and I write a nasty comment on a marketplace that nobody my age uses. Like, what am I going to do? Like, it's like going to say Alex, 13-year-old kid, he's like, who cares? He's like, but you blast somebody in social media for their like ghetto, kind of not savory tactics. And he's like that. He's like, that just ends them. I'm like, all right. Like, and again, I'm not 13. I don't know how much of this is truth, but this is like, again, user test of 1. This kid's like all in.
Well, that's where the kids are, right? So that's where
the kids
generation's attention span is. So at some point, then I wonder how long it takes until eBay gets absorbed by TikTok, because not in general, but look, the point is the interface of, we kept talking about all these interfaces are commodities. So these interfaces are commodities. That's effectively what was the main carrier wave to get in to like use eBay, and it doesn't have any value anymore. Then at some point they're going to run on fumes, because TikTok just makes their own thing based on an audience that's younger that wants different things. I mean, you're not looking at stuff as like, I don't know. I don't really use TikTok that much, but like,
No, I don't
it's
either.
not
So
it's not
I'm
like a
way out of my
multi-product
depth.
page.
No,
Well, it's just,
it's more the community end of it, right? Driving it. It's like, here is taste, here is trend, and whether or not that's sustainable, like that seems to be the thing. It's like trend is developed through these tastemakers. It is not like, I mean, we ran into this at Macy's. Like Macy's was looking for influencers back then, right? It's like, we need these guys out in the community, like even the beauty box, right? Like back to that story. Like we drove sales through influencers. Like flat out,
yeah, but
right? Like
that's,
Macy's had one part of the equation, the influencer had the other part of the equation. You bring the two things together, like Voltron, like all of a sudden you got a giant, alien killing robot.
so I think there's like, if eBay Live, it needs to not be a thing that they own. It needs to be a channel that they can hit, where somebody can just like make, their own home studio, and they can broadcast on YouTube, TikTok, eBay, all these places at the same time. And they have like a branded store. I mean, it's like, where's the buy button go to? Does it matter?
Does it
No.
matter? Well, I
Yeah.
mean, so you're bringing like, it's brilliant. I love that. I mean, maybe the thing that we should think about too is the opposite end of that. Like, why does, in analyzing like the underlying structures and kind of trying to reform that, like, why does their interface matter? Like, why wouldn't you bring, like, back to the Voltron thing, right? Like Macy's knew that they had a audience of buyers and they had a relationship with providers of
Vendors,
merchandise,
sellers.
right?
Yeah.
That these other influencing audiences value, right? You bring those things together and all of a sudden it's like the best of all worlds. Like the influencers get to tag on to products that they love and value. They get to do it through a legacy retailer, which they don't, they don't hate, but they don't love either. It's like they're just ambivalent to it in some way. But because it brings them a different audience, right? Like you're bringing two audiences together. Like influencer owns one audience, Macy's owns one other audience, but Macy's is bringing product and the relationship with the vendors, and influencer is bringing merchandising and their own audience, right? Like, and you're connecting those things. You're like, hey, here's an easy way for you to get the things that the influencer talked about, which the influencer then doesn't have to do the, well, maybe let's go and look and see where you can get this. And, Macy's has the ability of also doing promotion. They're like, hey, influencer, for you and your followers, we can figure out, how to get you a different gift with purchase, which I think is what we actually did with the box. Or we can get you a discount on the product, right? Like, you push this for the next week, and everybody that you push to us, here's your promotion code, right? Like, here's a code that you can use for just your flock to come and buy things on us cheaper. Like, eBay could do that. Like, I don't know why it is that, like, to your point, insert the eBay buy button in a TikTok video. Like, why wouldn't you do that? Like, the other thing that you brought
Yeah.
up, which I think is fascinating, is like ChatGPT, like Walmart and ChatGPT. I don't know why everybody isn't looking at that and they're like, what API can I make available to all of these LLMs? Because eventually, if you're hanging on to your own interface, one, it's expensive. You got to have people around to maintain that nonsense.
Well,
you have to have people around to like figure out how to make the search engine work, etc. Like, these large language models are going to know intent,
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Intent. It's like, is it a known item thing? Like, I need an oil filter for this car. I know it's going to cost 30 to 50 bucks, whatever it costs. Or versus like show me cool shit that's like sneakers that I haven't seen yet that are like amazing. And you try and do that on like eBay, it's like you don't even know what the hell you're looking for. You don't know, but you go on TikTok, it's just like they're you can't keep up with the trends at that point.
And
So
and maybe you shouldn't. Maybe you should just be like back to the Macy's thing. Be the connection to the product. Like
yeah,
stop trying to be the thing. Like you can build your own like and the other thing is like this weird like approach to all of this stuff is analogs. Like we have this and so we have to do this. It's like, well, you can continue to do that and if it's working for you, do it. But like why are you not also and I like triple underline
yes,
the word
and
also
yeah,
and showing up in ChatGPT and just like if chat's like figured out,
yeah,
it's gone all the way down to your product catalog and it's figured out the exact thing that Cam or Keith wants. Like back to the thing that I think we were talking about a few weeks ago, the stupid like, you know, I want a prime lens for my what camera did you make me buy? The
EV10, Sony
the
EV10.
EV10. Thank you. Yes.
There you go. Yeah,
Like if I got a prime lens for the EV10 and ChatGPT or Claude has found it for me, and it's literally like, here it is, Cam, and it's at eBay and it's at like Amazon, and you can get it from Amazon in 2 days. You can get it from eBay, like buy it now, and the eBay price is $10 less than the Amazon price. The shipping's the same, and I've kind of figured it out. Like even though Amazon says they can get it for you in 2 days, like you kind of passed the buying window for today, so that's 3. So likely either place you're going to get it in the same amount of time. Like why the F are we not just literally like, cool, thanks, eBay? Not even
and give
click.
you the
It's like you
options
just say it,
because
right?
I mean,
And
I
like the
think this
product
is
gets
going to
handed
be
off to like eBay's shopping cart API and I buy it. I never touch the eBay website. Like, why
oh,
is
there's a
that not a
dude 30 miles away. We can just like Uber drop it off for like another 10
dude,
bucks and
that'd
you'll
be
be there tonight.
badass. Yeah.
And it's like, just
Yeah.
take care of it. Dude, this is the idea of like simplicity, convenience, trust. Like, I know it's going to work. I know it's going to happen. Trust, simplicity. Like, how do I need it? When do I need it? And then convenience, like shorten the time it takes to like, okay, maybe I'm going to a wedding and I got to catch a flight, but I have to leave earlier because the government's still on strike and there's no TSA people or whatever. So I need it like in 10 minutes. So I need to go to like the Best Buy up the street, but I'll pay the premium to have somebody get it for me, fulfill it, drop it off as I'm like taking a shower, getting ready to, like those things can be thought through. It's like that's what the agents are going to be good for. And the more you interact with it, the more it's going to know what you need and how you need it.
But your inputs and outputs, again, are the thing that you need to tie in there. And like,
Yeah.
I feel like that part's missing. And again, as I keep
100%.
thinking,
I bet they're
about
like
the
walling the
systems,
data off too. I bet. I don't even know if you can.
I'm
Maybe you
sure.
can search it. I don't know if you can or not.
Well, I'm going to guess there are probably phrases around that place from their product people like, we need to own the shopping cart. It's like, okay, that's a statement that doesn't make sense to me. Like you still own the shopping cart. Like to check out the web ID. I know that everybody probably has a different name for it, but like the number that
Yeah.
is representative of the product in the catalog that you are buying gets passed off to your shopping cart and the fulfillment process, the output, right? The input, I don't care how a user got there. Search engine, Google, went to the eBay website, searched it on their on-site search. I don't really care. At the end of the day, like
It's just
the
data,
user
dude.
is now in possession of the web ID and is literally like, buy it now. Like, why do we care? Why do we care what channel they came in through? And it feels like everybody is like, oh yeah, like, we need them to do all of these things. Like, no, you need to move product. Like, forget about all of the other
Reduce the
things.
friction.
Yeah.
They're not thinking about it as a way to reduce friction rather
Like if
than
you want to do the
owning.
community things, go for it. It's an and. Like I'm not saying don't do
Yeah.
it. It has a value for an audience and you own that audience, like keep doing it. But like why do you think that you own less of the audience who is using ChatGPT to find the prime 50 millimeter lens and is like, I trust eBay, buy. Like, I don't need to look at the website. I don't need to go through all the janky interface that you talked about that
Oh,
looks like it's
dude.
still from like 2002. I don't need any of that.
Dude, their
I'm going
eBay
to need that
Live.
even less. Oh, are you on there?
Dude, it looks like fucking Pinterest, but with video. Like, if you're gonna do a live, like, go where the people are. Like, put it on YouTube or like TikTok or
Yeah.
like integrate that. Like, don't try and compete against. Like, you're competing against like billions of infrastructure. And dude, their revenue for last year was only $10.3 billion. Like, they're
I know.
not huge.
No.
I mean,
But I mean,
at,
again, like if you're trying, like, I don't know, Keith, like you have it up on your screen. Are they basically repeating the same pattern? It's like instead of competing with eBay now, or not eBay, instead of competing with Amazon, are they now trying to compete with TikTok or
yeah, hang
Pinterest?
on.
Like,
Let
why
me
would you do that?
because Monolith can. That's why.
Well, so again, back to the systems thinking model, right, Keith? One of two things is either happening. You've stopped, and I'm kind of thinking, I'm thinking about this in the classic, Goodman model of the iceberg, right? Like, y- y- y-
This is eBay
if
Live. Can you see
if
it?
they literally, yeah, I can see it. I can see it.
It's yeah. I mean, sorry. Anyway, this is terrible.
Yeah, but
Not
like,
terrible.
wait,
Like,
have you gotten to the? Well, no, like, go. Can you actually get onto the experience, like, out of the search engine and into like actually see one?
it looks like
Like, if
it's
you go to the
in eBay.
website, yeah, it
This is
is.
the what?
It is. Yeah, leave Google, go to eBay, and then try and find an actual.
Yeah, this is eBay.
No,
Yeah, eBay.com, dude. This is it. This is
what is
eBay.
that?
It's they're trying to redesign TikTok and put a buy button here. Like, this is their thing. Can you hear this?
Huh? No, I can't hear it. Oh, I must not be seeing what you're seeing. It
Oh, you're
must be a
not.
different screen. No, I'm
Hang
seeing
on.
Google.
Oh, hang on 1 second. Um,
Well, while you're
Mercury
doing that, I guess like the
retrograde.
thing that I'm thinking about though is it feels like instead of kind of getting down, Goodman's systems thinking model where you're actually dealing with reforming your business, reforming the model, reforming, the experience, or, trying to get down to honestly what Keith and I are talking about in this segment is the transforming part. It feels like they're still above the water looking at anticipate and react. And it, again, I can't see what's on Keith's screen, but I'm assuming it's what I saw with
I'm
my
finding it. Hang on
son.
1 second.
And if it truly is that, then I think the question that I'm asking, Keith, is are they repeating the same mistake and now competing with another thing? Yeah, there it is. That's it.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it's like it looks like Pinterest and TikTok, and if I click on one of these, it looks like TikTok.
Yeah. You got somebody who's like in their apartment with a webcam facing at them and they're like, hey,
Yeah.
I'm look at this amazing merch that I have. It's Pokemon cards that are instead of being 2.5 inches by 1.5 inch, these things are a foot by.
Ah, you have to create an account to like watch this longer. Oh my god, this is terrible.
Yeah, that's bad. That is
Can
bad.
can you hear this? The
Mm-mm.
music? No?
No.
Okay. We gotta figure out how to pipe audio in later. I guess because the auction went over. I mean, this is a good idea in terms of like the live stream thing, but the way that they're doing it, it's like no one's gonna know to go here. Like, look at this. They have no one's watching these things.
No. No. And again, why would you make me go to a different video watching social network
And dude,
simply because this is just about buying something? Like, why wouldn't I just be on a main social network and have the ability to buy or have an auction running? Like, why wouldn't I just insert the auction functionality? Like,
yeah.
go to where the people are.
I mean, seeing people bid in the back end, like live, could be fun to watch, but again, no one's gonna come here to like. No one's even thinking about eBay doing this. So
Well, and
I
even
don't
if
know,
they
man.
are, aren't there bigger platforms that are doing exactly this?
I mean, it's just a live stream. So at that point, it's like there's no reason it shouldn't be on all the major, like IG and TikTok and stuff. I mean,
So yeah, just insert
dude,
auction function. They should work with IG or whoever to insert auction functionality, but there's probably, like, to your point, some sort of walled IP garden. No, I don't want to hand my buying process over to IG, or, which, I mean, makes no sense because, like, dude, Facebook Marketplace. I mean, like,
even if it costs like 10 or 15%, and it's a carry trade, like, or not carry trade, like an
yeah,
RR,
rev
there's like a
trade.
spread. Yeah, if
Yeah.
they made 30, 40, 50% more in revenue, then it's like, screw it. I don't know, man. I think there's definitely something there with the community and the people who care about the things. I think it's finding a way to help, because like, if they can advertise more or get connected with the right audience, they're going to sell more product. And it's finding the right people at the right time, but leveraging all the current channels. It just seems still kind of like antiquated in the mentality that is trying to drive the design part of. They're still thinking of a design as like fonts and the what do you call that shit? Like the design system or whatever. Like,
Yeah. Well, you're hanging on, like, again, we talked about this last week. It's like, as you're trying to do something different, the thing that you want to be is lightweight. So shed a bunch of the things, right? And like this,
yeah,
and we said this last week too about the internet being in beta. Like, we honestly don't know what the HCI is going to be. We don't. And
no,
instead of basically getting light and taking the best, like, the best, most saleable thing around your product and putting it everywhere, it's like everybody's like doing this, like, no, I need to control the cart. I need to control the catalog. I need to control, like, my particular audience. I can't blend my audience in. Instead of looking at, like, the building blocks of what you have, it's like, okay, you have a massive catalog. You have a very large audience. You have 30 years of trust, and you actually have built programs to increase trust, right? Like, which, simplicity, convenience, and trust. Like, trust
yeah,
really matters. It's the
the
hardest
main
thing to
currency.
build.
Yeah, it takes a
Like,
lifetime to
stop
build.
worrying about your interface. Like, if I'm on TikTok and I can buy something, buy it now. Like, forget auctions. Like, if I can buy it now, and just the brand of eBay is showing up in
Get the
TikTok,
eBay guarantee. I'm like, all right, you know what? Screw it. I can, like, if I have to deal with it, I
totally,
can reconcile. Like, fine, because then you get like
totally.
the Xers versus the new kids. Again, it's just like, how do you want to buy it? Who do you trust to do the transaction with? We're just kind of the facilitator right now.
And it's like, if it's
So they
hopelessly
become like
uncool,
Mastercard at that point. They're like the merchant
yes,
processor.
yeah, yeah.
Man,
Like, we are your non, like, supply chain from China, like, exclusive product. I mean, they could do
which is
so
a
much
problem
damage
Amazon's
against,
coming up with now. Yeah,
right?
fake
They could do
stuff.
damage to Amazon. They could do damage to RealReal. They could do damage to, like, all these other things. Like, just show up where the kids are. Don't, like, make the kids come to you. Go to them,
Or the adults. A
or
kid
the
show you something. Oh,
adults.
actually, you know what? Okay, I can actually like hang out and watch this for like 10 minutes tonight. And like, oh, cool, I found a
Well, and
carburetor.
that,
Or there's a dude
I
who
mean,
rebuilding a carburetor. You're like, oh, this is cool. This is like shop talk. I could watch a guy do that for 10 minutes, and that's cool. Versus maybe I buy shit from him because by the way he's doing it, he knows what he's doing.
which that's the piece. Like, again, that, like, I'm dumbfounded, right? It's like, everybody's so anxious to hang on to the things that are in their walled garden, their branded walled garden. It's like,
Dude,
can you hang back for like 5 minutes and let somebody else's brand be out there for 5 minutes, and then at the crucial moment where your brand actually matters and what you bring to the table in the experience or in the delivery or whatever actually matters, can you hang back for 5 minutes and then be the front facing brand, right? Like, why is everybody so dead set that they have to be in control of the brand conversation from beginning to end? It's like, let the guy with the carburetor on TikTok, let TikTok and the dude with the carburetor have their moment of being branded. Like, that's what an influencer is there to do. He's not your brand. He's his own brand.
Right.
And whatever platform he's chosen to be on, like, that brand brings cachet. Now, like, they're not good. I mean, dude, even IG. I bought stuff on IG. It's been an absolute disappointment in every. It's like the sketchy sneaker site, right? Like it's the worst of the worst. Where I'm like, is this gonna ever show up? Oh my god, I ordered this thing like 3 months ago and it's still not here. Oh geez, I'm trying to communicate with these people and there's no domestic like no one's here.
Because it's
To,
big tech. It's like 6 people in an office responding via email with some bullshit ticketing system. It's not.
it's not even that anymore, dude. It's like canned answers out of a chat agent. That's exactly what it is. And
Oh
like
my god.
like when I finally found a, you know, like chat icon, it was like immediately I'm like, I am not talking to a person. This is absolutely like a bad like robot. Like not even like smartly trained robot. Like they're not using like an LLM. They're using some really bad decisioning system that's like, what's he complaining about? Oh, it hasn't shown up. Okay, here are like the 5 canned responses. Like, did this answer your question?
Would you like to hear
Like,
your recent order? It's like, ah, God, it's so
so
maddening too.
like at that moment, I'm not thinking about IG. I'm not thinking about anything. I'm just thinking about the company that I'm dealing with in that moment. And it's not a positive brand experience. It's a shit brand experience.
This was
Like,
yeah. We tried to explain this at Macy's too. They didn't understand that we're gonna
like,
get
and
punished.
this is the place where it's like, all right, dudes, like if IG were working back to the thing that we're like talking about at a very simple, like if IG were working with eBay, all that eBay goodness, all that eBay trust comes in. But like, I don't need you to go to eBay, right? Like you can be on IG and deal with the front part of it, but now like the back end part of it, like all the customer service, all the delivery is eBay. Like I'm probably actually not even like that worked up at this point. I'm like, I just trust that they're going to get my stuff to me.
I mean,
Positive brand experience.
if it's the data and eBay's handling the transaction and they're gonna give a percentage or a piece to Instagram, just have it go back to eBay where it's like, okay, here's a transaction you bought on eBay, just go there, and then you settle it on the back end through eBay because that's what you trust. That's what you're used to knowing how to use in terms of like a UX paradigm. It's like, why don't you just do that? And then it's like,
Yeah.
okay, cool. And then you're offloading all that return bullshit, all the communication. You don't have to deal with that. And it's like, uh, it's a context-based process that just kills you because it just gets so expensive as you get bigger as like a
Well,
company.
and at that point, right? Like I've jumped walled gardens. I'm out of the Meta walled garden and I'm now in the eBay walled garden. And I'm dealing with the part of the transaction or the part of the interaction where their brand matters and I trust their brand, right? Like
Trust. Yeah.
that's the piece that I'm just like trying to rebuild these things in our walled garden, right? Like makes no sense.
Dude,
And
it's like infinite tech debt. It's
and it's
like, God.
and you're trying to spend and throw money at something that somebody's already owning. They're the first mover now and you're trying to come in. It's like the same thing. Why would you try and do all of this, you know, infrastructure and supply chain things out of China like Amazon does? Why would you do that? Like they have first mover advantage. They're years ahead of you. They have like scale. They have the financial wherewithal to outlast you. And
Yeah.
now it's like, okay, well, we've got a video service and we're doing live stream videos where we're trying to sell things again. Like IG, the other meta platforms like Facebook's still doing this. And you know, now you've got also like TikTok and other places where those things are that front end interaction. What?
Use it.
Like just show up. Don't
Yeah.
rebuild it. Just show up. Like take the things that you're like expert at and bring it with the things that they're expert at. And like we've said about the humans, it's the same problem with like an individual. Like we're like, dude, like check the ego, you know? Like bring the two things together to proceed up the mountain, you know? Like be lighter weight. Like you do
Yeah.
not need to bring all this nonsense with you. Like It's the same thing, just at a
It's so
corporate level, and
expensive
like
too.
nobody can practice that.
This is like a different version of Pluto and Aquarius too, like the destruction of old tech, the destruction of the way people interacted. Because right now Pluto's about control too, not just like destruction and rebirth or reconstruction. So all these companies want to control things and try and do it all themselves rather than being like, you know what, screw it. We're gonna kill our darlings. We're gonna like lop this piece off. We're gonna share it, and then you're gonna fuse something new on top of it. It's almost like what open source did by giving it away for free, where it's like, okay, cool. IG's got like the streaming and the attention part of the platform. We have the buy e-commerce, like, trust with returns, because you don't know who the hell you're dealing with. It's annoying because people have weird interaction. Like people, if you're trying to return and deal with somebody on Instagram that you're transacting cash with, this is like dudes sliding into chicks' DMs land. Like that's the mental model that people are in Instagram with. Not like, hey, give me this computer part for like $20, whatever, blah blah blah. How old is it? Is it still working? Do I need to solder a thing? It's I don't know. There's
I
something
mean,
here.
again, well, I think this is the first of many a case study that we're looking at from a systems approach, right? Like it's not a holistic thinking. It's a very, like, you called this out last week. Like this is Monolith. You are,
Yeah,
like, we've just gone up a level, right? Like instead of looking at what's happening between a designer and a product person and an engineer, like those are all monoliths as well inside of a closed system. This is looking at the entire system within a market or an economy, right? Like, so eBay is doing monolithic behavior, right? Like instead of looking beyond its four walls and saying, how else can we show up? How can we atomize the goodness of eBay and deliver it wherever it needs to be delivered? They're sort of like, well, let's recreate these other structures, these other monoliths within our four walls. And that is not a holistic thinking way of dealing with it, especially in a place where the entire system right now is being disrupted. Like, this is the time where
yeah.
you're like, throw out your old conventions. Right now is the time where everything is breaking and everything is like test and learn. It's beta. Like we said this last week, it's all beta.
Yeah,
Like
all
your
those
risk
old
profile should
paradigms.
be
Yeah,
going up.
yeah.
That's all
Oh,
I'm saying. Your risk profile should go up. And if your risk profile is not going to go up, you're probably going to get scrapped, because like Meta's only going to keep going towards Amazon or
oh,
they're going
they
to
have
like,
Facebook Marketplace right now, which I sold a bunch of stuff on. So it's like it's good enough. It's a little
it's good
sketchy because you
enough.
can, yeah, you know what I mean. But the transacting trust part is what eBay really owns, and that is what the core that they want to keep and like guard with their life. Like that is
So
the
focus on that.
yes. Like everything else is just a distraction, and the more they pump into all these other things, it's going to kill them faster because it's just going to bleed them by 1,000 paper cuts, digital paper
Yeah.
cuts.
Yeah. I mean, trying to build their own version of TikTok is about as silly as trying to build what they did when they were like, we're going to compete with Amazon. It
I
is
mean,
going to be a money sink, and it is going to be one of those things where they literally are,
dude, they're
every
paying
innovation
probably
they have is
Amazon because of AWS for all the fucking real time compute, and it's like
I
they're just
can't,
throwing money away. Like literally, they're losing money and paying them. It's like God, it's hemorrhaging.
I have nothing to say there, but that OSINT is available to you if you need to understand that. Um, but like I'm saying,
Everyone's yeah,
dude, like TikTok's trying to infringe on that as well, right? Like they're trying to become a marketplace, but their entire take is, we're not going to show you the catalog. We're just going to show you the content, and like you're going to get swept up in the content and you're going to buy stuff.
yeah.
Period. No
It's like,
catalogs, no, like they're getting you at the point of inspiration and they're just like, I got to have that. And they're not like
and then they're
trying to
building
service
a
the dude like
browser
me.
in the app and tracking everything you're doing, and like the virtualized browser in the. It's like, dude, no, like this is stupid. Like that's why I don't want to buy and deal with that stuff. I'm like, no, because like they're copying your clipboard off your phone and stuff too. So it's like, if
Yeah,
you copied a
we're not the
passport, I
market.
mean, yeah, not
We're
passport,
not the
password.
market.
Yeah,
But they're going after the market of kids that are going to be shopping probably at scale much longer than you and I are going to be shopping at scale. And that's the thing. Like,
Maybe.
if you want to go walled garden and you want to do things the way you've done it, that's fine. Like, recognize and own. I mean, this is like a very Warren Buffett type strategy, right? Like, recognize and own the audience that you know you can serve, and be content with how they do things, what they do, where their spend is, and like optimize and maximize for that, right? There's plenty of other things, like as a Gen Xer still using eBay on the daily, that eBay could do to make my shopping experience much less frictionful. I'm telling you, it is not eBay Live. Like, fix your fucking search engine and fix your filters. Like, those things, like, why they haven't done that over 30 years is beyond me. I don't know. Like, again, low-hanging fruit, probably something that somebody could bang out in a quarter or less. Probably, like, you put a team on it, you could probably bang it out in like 2 weeks. Do
Dude,
it in an iteration.
this is the same thing with Macy's. This is the next consulting job. It's fix their search and filtering and
I
get rid of the
tried,
interface.
Keith. I mean, that was my first gig at Macy's. Like, before I was like had my role, like when I was a consultant, I was the dude trying to solve like all the interaction design and all of the like
And it came back
information
to the tech.
architecture
Yeah.
with the and I was like, here are the 5 use cases you need to solve, you know? Like, don't ever show me this again. Show me only this. Show me this and this, you know? And it was like, they were not
It
hard use cases to understand. And
yeah.
dude,
It'll get
I mean,
harder for these companies before it gets faster, better, because at some point they're gonna have to hollow out. They're gonna have to hollow out more employees to cover their cost basis, and then eventually, at some point, the CEO is gonna be like, "What are we doing? Like, we just gotta like get rid, like make hard cuts to make this stuff happen." And there's no reason. I mean, God, you have these kids doing what are they called? Like systems design interviews, like all these patterns for scaling and caching. Like, it's pretty well thought out now that scaling vertically and horizontally. Like, this is not anyway.
I don't
Yeah, the
know. I
legacy
mean,
man.
again, so like, go completely outside of the systems that we've been talking about. If I were an 18-year-old with some time on my hands and I was thinking radically about online commerce and a marketplace and a creator community or an influencer community, you know what I would do? I would be the intermediary and disrupt that. It's like, eBay doesn't want to show up in this thing. I'll show up in this thing. Like you said it. I'll go source the thing in South Korea and I'll get it to you on a reasonable timeline. I will push
Arbitrage, dude. There's some
I will
kid at
push the
Y
buy
Combinator probably
button.
doing this. Yeah,
Like,
and they'll automate it.
or I will be the guy who builds the agent that goes and scans eBay, Amazon, Temu, whatever for this. I will like run the engine. I will insert my own branded buy now button into take your pick, eBay
Cam
Live.
Mall.
I'll do them all. I'll do eBay Live, I'll do TikTok, and I'll do Instagram. I'll do them all.
Maybe that could be their initial pilot, finding kids to try and do this, to kind of connect the two things and see if they could vibe code it. I don't know. At this point, there's tons of talent that is on the market right now that I'm sure are willing to work to try things at bargain basement prices if you give them something decent to kind of get into. But if they do it right, you can't just give them $40 an hour doing some bullshit job as an intern. You gotta leapfrog them, give them authority if they do it right, and then get them into the org chart where they can actually make a difference, and then support them. This is maybe a next iteration kind of thing for the next episode or later. But I mean, I think we kind of got into like the macro micro of the interface, the business, the culture, and why that's kind of like prohibiting them from kind of disrupting. But then if you actually want to fix it, that's a whole nother op. But it's
Yeah.
doable. You just gotta
So
have
I
the
mean,
will.
how would you sum it up, right? Like, I think we've thrown out a bunch of things. Like, I got a few things, but like, how would you sum this up? Like, if somebody were saying, okay, cool, like, imagine that somebody from eBay or Macy's or even Instagram or TikTok were sitting in front of us. Like, what's the summary? What would you tell those people? Like, say we were invited to a round table and we got somebody in some level of authority in one or all of those companies, like what would you tell them?
The way you need to think about this is like open source. When you give something away for free, you're destroying the value, but it moves it somewhere else up the chain. So you have to figure out like what you want to own, which is the trust and the transaction, and then everything else is a commodity. So
I
figure out how
love
to.
that.
That's how I would think about it. The very most simplest part, because it's if you don't do it now, you're going to put money into tech and to HR. It's just going to kill you. It's just too expensive, and it's bullshit that's not going to actually convert into any kind of ROIC, any kind of return on your capital at all.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I would think
I
about it.
love it. Yeah, I love that.
How
I
would
think
you think
that's.
about it?
I think. Uh, I think the very very basis of it is the right,
Yeah.
and and
Yes,
in some
and
ways, yes, and I think what you just said is a better encapsulation of it in terms of like the open source model being like a business model that you go after. Like I 100% agree with that, and I think that summary is an excellent one. I think the level of depth beneath it is within that. Focus on the things that you bring to the table in that open source model, and like not just double down on that, triple down on that, and rely on the partners that do the thing that you don't do at the same level that you do it, right? So
yeah,
um and then and then the problem that you're solving is the interop between those things, and that is like, while still at times going to be a weighty problem, whether it's like contract negotiation or systems talking to systems or figuring out like how everybody gets paid, those problems are problems that you can solve in a much shorter period of time, or you can decide it is a problem that you cannot solve, right? Like it is not high risk in terms of like, well, we think we can solve it, and how we solve it is this complex set of technology that's going to take us a year to 2 years to build, and then hopefully like the market hasn't shifted, and hopefully like, people care. Like I got to imagine that eBay Live thing was not easy to build. I don't know,
no.
maybe I I could be wrong.
Well,
Like I certainly don't
it
know. But like,
they're what the hell? It's what was that thing that Twitter bought before it was God. It was like it's a live streaming thing. Like there's a whole bunch of stuff you have to deal with it, and don't forget you have leverage if you want to try and like sell this to like Instagram. Like they're gonna be like, oh, we want 30% of a transaction. It's like, well, how much you guys really spending on trying to deal with returns and like do like a
like I said,
6 month. Yeah, exactly.
business problems are way easier to negotiate than like hardcore engineering problems. Like, and they're oftentimes faster and cheaper to solve, right? Like, sitting around a table and negotiating what everybody's cut is, it's annoying, but it can be done in a much faster way with an outcome that you can predict on a timeline that's going to be way better for you than like, we got to build this, like, and hopefully the market, like, that's the thing too that I want to overemphasize this because we brought it up again last week, and the market shifts right now where things we anticipated would take a year or 2 years to deliver are like happening in weeks.
Oh yeah, it's like icebergs shearing off of like continents. Like it's massive.
I mean, I want to build like ground level builds. I want to do as little of that as I possibly can. And value delivery, like if something takes more than a few weeks to a few months to get a strong signal for the value, I'm like, don't do it. Like, don't do it. And
Yeah,
that's not to switch over to my like what I'm doing, because like we kind of already covered that, and I can't talk about it in any like rational detail. So I'm like, let's just avoid that. But like that principle of value delivery right now that builds, like,
compounds.
has been, and you said that last week, and I've like, held on to that. Like it's absolutely right. Like whatever the value that you can deliver right now, it's like the future value of money, right? It's like that same exact concept, but with IP.
Just kind of cash flow. Yeah, yeah. Or is it?
Like do
Yeah,
it
yeah,
now and get the money in, because you're going to need to keep getting the money in over time. Like the longer you wait to start getting money in,
yeah. Try
like
it. Do a
your
pilot program.
profitability is already like in a negative. You're trying to build back from a negative state, like where, everything that I'm doing right now, like the money spend is like people's salaries over the weeks that we're doing it, right? Like
Oh, dude.
the sunk
Yeah.
cost is so low compared to, and then we have tech debt, and now we have a process, and we're paying for the compute to run all this stuff. Like if I if I'm putting on something out on our compute and I am using any kind of AI to deal with it, I'm like, this cannot be like experimental for very long. Like the cost of that stuff is going
Oh,
to either
yeah.
kill us or there's some higher value thing going on that compute needs to be used for, and it's not the thing that we're building.
So 100%. And one last thing is I would also think about who you send to do the contract negotiations. Because Macy's, they were not very good the way they were negotiating a lot of these contracts, and they didn't know they were getting the data fleeced. So this is an opportunity to look inside eBay to find people who are younger and hungry who can be trained on how to do sales. Like they don't need an MBA. They need like an eBay MBA about how to understand how to like where's the leverage, what do they really want, what is it moving the needle, because then if you send someone who's been around for 25 years to talk to some like 25-year-old, like they're going to judge in both directions. So
Yeah.
you got to find, you know what I mean? Like there's ways to reinvent the company slowly, but you have to like start building the right kind of team with the right mindset, like from the get-go. So it's seeing value that way too, not just value in terms of like we getting signal from the thing we're actually building, but it's like how you're re-engineering the culture and the process too.
Yeah. But I mean, like one thing I wanted to bring back around that you just brought up about the open source thing, like that model is really powerful because it keeps everybody focused on the thing that they're good at. And if an open source like covenant or contract is negotiated the right way, what it also does is it allows people to tap in and pull value out in commensurate like levels, right? Like
Everybody wins.
I'm
Everybody's
doing
doing what they,
X
yeah.
and I want to pull X amount of value out of this. I want to take this IP that you guys are building and I want to apply it this way, right? Like that model, it just simplifies everything. And it's not going to solve every problem. And there's certain things that are like so close to the core of like what you do and the golden goose or however you want to describe it, that you're not going to bend. You're unwilling to like negotiate around that. And that's fine. Like I don't see problems there. I think, you know, but it keeps the focus on just those things versus like, ah, God, like all these things we now need to figure out, like, how are we going to do? It's like, if you're just hanging on to the things that you know are like the pieces that you bring to the table that are your like secret sauce or your like magic part of the equation, it's a way easier thing to negotiate. And it's a way
Business school
easier
101,
thing to
dude.
like think about, to enhance, like, and then all of your resources go into enhancing just that thing. You're just like, we are laser focused on this because it solves problems for us. But in this open source model, it is the contribution that we bring that is going to have this ongoing value. And it's like, if you just stay focused on that, I don't know, it just makes all of that easier. And then like one other thing that I was thinking about, like from the human side of it, how often have you been like every single time I'm in a negotiation where I have somebody sitting across the table who is not my direct competitor, but like brings something to the table that enhances it. And they're like, and your stuff enhances it. Like the energy and the excitement around that like conversation is nothing but a positive. Like every single one of those conversations I've been involved with, everybody leaves with a smile on their face. Nobody's like, ah, God, like those guys are, they're absolutely going to fuck us. Like we're going to be in this
Yeah,
place
do a
because
real deal.
there's no competition there. It's like everybody wins in this situation if we figure out a way to work together. And everybody's like, yep. Like
And
smiles all
actually
around the
do it.
table.
Yeah. Don't just say it, like fulfill. It's like triple wins, dude. People are
Yeah.
doing jobs they love doing. You're making money,
Yep.
positive cash flow, and customer needs are getting what they want. It's like
And
it's
problems are
super
getting
easy.
solved. Problems are
Yeah,
getting solved that
in
you're no
theory.
longer on the hook to solve. And that, yeah, a contract negotiation can always go wrong or always go bad. The implementation can always go wrong or go bad. I'm not saying it's like all rosy, but like the number of times that and again at Macy's we had this, like we're like, hey, we're gonna go seed you to do this because like we need this thing built and we need you to figure this out, and people are like, hell yeah, like amped to go and figure that out for
Do
you
something
guys.
interesting that's just not boring and wasting money like usual. It's like you're doing this the right way. Like, okay,
And you're not going
yeah,
to annihilate me. You're actually going to let me have my IP as a part of the system, and you're going to like thank me with either money or recognition or like
or
some
both.
some or audience. Like again with the influencers, like we're going to bring audience and product, and they're just like, hell yeah, you know?
This is what I mean by like sales and training the youngins to do good deals. Even if it's like people who've been there for 20 years, like you got to have the right representation and the right mindset doing these kind of things. Otherwise, you're just going to recreate the same old system that's going to blow it up.
Yep, yep, yeah. Or you're going to get blown up, and you're going to burn a bunch of capital trying to catch up, and that like those things don't feel good. If you're sitting around the boardroom, that is not a happy conversation. That is a risk analysis and, oh God, like this could go wrong, John. And, you know, you're going to lose your job if we have 2 years of sunk cost against some project that's not going to deliver.
Yeah.
It's
I mean,
horrible.
that's everyone's stressed at that point and guaranteed to just do the same old monolith and they'll just kill them faster. It's going to have the opposite effect of what they want.
Yeah. And in a market where you got to move fast, like like your open source thing really resonates. It makes a lot of sense to me. And like, I'm so glad you said that because it's like, it's a very tangible model that is very grounding where you're just like, oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Like it's about the
Free.
negotiation. It's about,
Yeah. Give
it's
it, you
about
know,
you put in and you take out, right?
if you do it right, everybody wins. That's the beauty.
Yep. Yep. Yeah.
Cool, man.
Well, this
That was a good
was,
episode.
yeah, we got super excited at the end.
I think
We
there's
came up with like reasonable things that like people could execute against, which is tangible and feels good.
yeah. I mean, again, with the systems part, this like the strategy of kind of what to do is one piece, and then there's kind of like a sub strategy underneath that. On how do you, and like how do you actually get the old eBay to go along with it and like sell it through and get the change? Because the change management piece is like a whole other animal. But I think starting with a good vision and value system and finding, sticking to what is really core. And this is like the formation conditions. This is what they did well. Auctions and trust, transacting trust. It's like getting back to that. And that's what's the most important thing. That's what they want to own.
Well, I mean, again, I doubt that anybody in power at eBay, unless, you know, you've got a great hack for that. I guess we could figure that out to get this in front of people if we thought it was meaningful. But I guess one thing I hope companies like that figure it out, because for me as a user of eBay and you know, I will say it's not all about the transacting. Some of it is about the community or the knowledge, right? There's a lot of knowledge that I gain daily through using eBay, which sounds strange, but
Yeah.
with the hobbies that I
Well,
have, sometimes you need to understand certain things. You need to understand the availability of things or the, you know, difference of availability of things. And sometimes you just need to know how things work. It's like, oh, you know, by looking at certain models of cars as an example, I can figure out like, oh, these things all have the same part structure. So I don't
yep.
necessarily need to buy this very like I mean literally turn signal relay. Like through eBay, I figured out, oh, there's a different type of turn signal relay, which is not unobtainium. It's actually quite available, and it's about 1/50th the cost of like the unobtainium one.
Yeah,
And
dude.
it plugs right in. It literally, Keith, it was like, boop. It was like, huh, wonder if this is going to work. Flip the turn signals on, everything works. Great thing was, I never have to worry about that again. It cost me $13 where it was going to cost me like $280, and the $280 part will break eventually. The $13 part will never break because like the technology has been upgraded. And I learned that like through looking at different things on eBay and talking to like one dude. And he's like, yep, this is a common hack for this problem. And like, welcome, son. Like, you no longer need to pay full price for things that are going to ultimately break. And I was like, this is amazing.
Yeah, that dude in that conversation could become like a pair shopper. Not like we're going to go shop and look for a dress together, but like help you figure out what the hell you need and then find a way to like, there's data and value behind that social capital. Like that's what they have to figure out how to unlock.
Yeah.
Like everything else is just a medium and a channel. Like they don't. This would be an interesting follow up for like later about how you reinvigorate kind of old Web 1, Web 2.0 companies that they became successful businesses, and how do they disrupt themselves? And I think at some point the pattern there's going to be a system to emerge out of the pattern to kind of do that.
Yeah.
But
So maybe the one last thing I'll say, and then I'll let you have the last word. I would say, and I'm not often plugging my employer for a bunch of reasons. Some of them, at times, I'm like, guys, I don't understand what you're doing.
mm,
But in this particular area, I will say this: I've never worked in an environment that thinks more broadly than the environment that I'm in now, and down to things like thinking about, is there a better way of doing this? Could we buy something versus having to build it? Could we partner with another company and ultimately get to the same outcome, and actually not be in a place where we have legacy tech debt or
yeah,
legacy human debt or whatever, right? Like, and I've seen that cycle ramp up even faster and further than it was when I first started working there. And it's one of the things that I think is in the DNA there, where the risk analysis happens, and then eventually there's an opportunity analysis, and the two things come together, and they're like, it's A. And they just
yeah, feasibility.
do it. They just do it. They're not afraid of it. They're not overthinking it. They're not, they're like, we'll learn something, and the value is going to come, and the risk is this, and let's move, right? Definitively, let's move. So over to you,
I think
Keith. Take us out. What do you got?
I think every company has the opportunity to do that right now, especially. The barriers have never been so low. The stakes are more high. You just have to have courage to go through and try different things. And this to me comes down to like a lack of leadership or leadership that doesn't know. And if you don't, then you got to find the right people. But there's no reason these companies can't do this right now. I mean, everyone's worried about AI being disrupted, but no one's really talking about how can they exponentially increase what they're doing for like the business, the customers, the employees, everybody at the same time moving forward with, it's limitless at this point. It's just a lack of imagination. So
Yeah, that's fair. I love it.
that's it. It's a good one. I like this. I like this auditing old companies. I think moving forward, it would be good to look at like the financials a little bit and start looking at, and maybe we revisit this later to see like, okay, what does a $10 billion company look like versus like a 50 or a $30 billion company, and just to kind of work, because there's some simple things I think you could kind of like figure out with financials. You don't have to get too in the weeds, but it would help crystallize and maybe land with some of the suits a little bit more too, because they're like, well, we need to do 10% revenue increase based on relative comps or whatever. I mean, every company's different, but
Yep.
TBD.
All right, cool. As always,
Yeah,
thank you,
man,
Keith.
super fun, Cam. Can't wait
Yeah,
to do the
really
next
fun.
one.
Yeah, very exciting, and thanks again, both for the pre-planning on this one and kind of leading us through. Really
Yeah, man,
appreciate it.
awesome.
Cool.
All right, dude, I'll catch you
See
next
you
week.
soon. Thanks,
All
man.
right, later.